I am with Despina Camper. She is a retreat leader. She has an amazing practice, Self-Discovery Labs, and my name is Ron Morris. I'm with Via Zara, and we're going to have this conversation really to get into who you are and what you do and your retreat and all of that, so that the people listening to this can really get a feel for what to expect on this amazing retreat you have coming up in Greece. So I'll start off by just asking you, tell us about yourself and your upcoming retreat.
Okay, so thank you for having me on. I'm from Australia, so I run my retreats from here for the global market. And the idea of this upcoming retreat that I've got, I suppose it came out of the need to find a way that we could assist individuals in coping with the usual stresses we find ourselves in this 21st century technology-driven, fast-paced society. And what the retreat does is it creates a space where we're away from distractions and we have this opportunity to reconnect to self, that part of you that has no fear, no confusion, just clarity around who you are and what it is you want to do. And I say reconnect because we all have that, yeah. Generally speaking, we're not born stressed with a crazy mind. We develop these kind of unhelpful skills along the way, which moves us away from that kind of innate, that instinctive way of being. So it's still there. We just need to reconnect to it. And the retreat is the vehicle that assists you in going there. So that's kind of this high level understanding of the retreat outcomes, if you like. And it's my experience and qualifications that have helped me develop this kind of unique, personalized approach. I have a postgraduate qualifications in nutrition, education, counseling, and it's the incorporation of these holistic ways of living that led to the design of that retreat. But it's not just that. I've got 20 years clinical experience treating people with stress and emotional disorders that has really coloured how the retreat is delivered. Yeah.
Great. What inspired you to create this retreat, which is so amazing? I was reading about it for women that can really benefit from this in such a beautiful place in Crete, Greece. I can't imagine a magnificent setting.
Yeah, it is a beautiful setting. It's right on the beach. But I suppose what inspired me was when I started practicing over 20 years ago. I was a naturopath at the time and a nutritionist. And my consultations kind of naturally veered towards treating anxiety disorders more than any other condition. Yeah, I became good at it and I started specializing in it, working very closely with psychologists, I've got to add. And it was this kind of collaborative approach. And because I had this success, I thought, wouldn't it be great to run workshops in this area where all my clients who had stress and anxiety could all come together in one place and support each other. And we could practice certain routines, breathing exercises, and have open discussions about what's working, what's not working. So I did just that. And I found them to be hugely successful, not only because it brought everyone together as a group with the same condition, but it supported compliance and kept everyone accountable. And we could troubleshoot what was going on in people's minds. So all this support was just phenomenal. And then I thought, hang on a sec, why just anxiety disorders? Why not open this up to everyone? Yeah. So we all find it hard to manage stress at times in our life. So this stuff would be hugely beneficial for all. Hence, Self-Discovery Lab was born. Yeah.
Well, as I was reading through the itinerary, it seems really interesting. It seems like a real opportunity for transformation. It's structured elements to it, but then it also has playtime. Walk us through what's a typical day on the retreat look like?
Yeah, and I'm pleased you said playtime, because I think that's so important in
Yeah,
any retreat, to have that process or time to be able to assimilate. Um, yeah, so the retreat, um, how it starts, we wake up in beachside accommodation. Yeah, so we stroll across the road and we begin our day with the yoga experience on the beach. We then kind of come back for breakfast, and these are options. The yoga is optional if you like. You might want to start the day with a swim before breakfast. Then you come back. We have breakfast together at the retreat center, and then we do the self-discovery sessions. This is what most people call coming home. I love that expression. And then we have that free time on the island to explore or just simply relax, because we're in Kissamos, a beautiful part of Crete. So you can explore what's just local there. And in the evening, we come back together, and it's all inclusive. So we've got these wonderful local tavernas lined up, different taverna every night, so we can enjoy the food that Greece has to offer, that well-known Mediterranean diet. And even one night, you talk about fun, one night we actually go Greek dancing and plate breaking, the whole experience, just to feel some of that joy of that local area. And another of the days is spent on a sailing boat, experiencing those beautiful waters of Crete. We go out to Balos Beach, which is a very famous beach. So that's kind of a high level of what we do on the retreat. But those self-discovery sessions are the key. Yeah. So straight after breakfast, we have these self-discovery sessions. And like you said, every day is a different theme. Day one is about connecting to self. So we ask some, really serious questions that we need to reflect upon. And then the next day after that, it's all about understanding the body. Yeah. Why is it our nervous system works in the way it does? We look at the physiology of stress, because when we understand that kind of dynamic, if you like, we then have choice. A lot of times we think we don't want to feel stress, and we know meditation relaxes us, but how does it do that? And if there's times where meditation doesn't relax us, then we know the how and the why. So, it's really important that we get that broken down. The day after that, we talk about the inner critic, the one that says, I'm not good enough, I can't do that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. The day after that, we look at lifestyle medicine, our diets and our lifestyles, and how we can break that down and do that better. And of course, the sailing trip, and the sailing trip is not just, just an entertainment thing. There's a reason why we do this, and it's to experience awe. There's really good research to show that having awe-inspiring experiences, like, a beautiful scenic trip we have on the sailing boat, actually supports us in integrating a sense of self. Yeah. So, that feeling you get when you're around stunning beauty, it helps us process things that we've been working on throughout the week. Yeah. And the last day, day 7, is just bringing it all together and mapping out what those next 12 months will look like.
interesting. So you mentioned coming home. Elaborate on that. What does that mean, really?
Yeah, coming home is an interesting term. I didn't come up with it. It's something that clients came up with, and it's all about this is who I am in this frantic world. I want to be this compassionate, kind, wonderful person that's innate in me. But I live this crazy life out here, and I can't reconnect. So when we get rid of that crazy life and analyze why we live in this crazy world, and start to recognize, this is actually who I am and what I'm good at, I kind of knew but didn't really know, then it's like coming home. People talk about finding self. It's actually here. It's already there. So that coming home is just that resonating with those innate qualities. It sounds simple and basic, but it's actually, we don't think about it enough. That's all. Yeah.
I get that you're kind of peeling away some layers and really kind of getting to that self, which is something that's a lot easier to do when you're away from the day-to-day stresses. You're in a different different environment. You're getting a chance to really discover some interesting things. You might be a little outside of your comfort level. That's a time you can have the most impact on yourself.
Yeah. That's when the magic happens.
When the magic.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it's really taking, that's why retreats are so good, because you're taking yourself away from your natural environment, the distractions. And that's they are just that, distractions. And not only are you taken away, you are in a bit of an uncomfortable zone. Yeah, and that's where learning is it not? When you're in that uncomfortable zone. So, and you're meeting people, like-minded people, yeah, and you're having those deep conversations that we don't have the opportunity to have enough. And we're doing that, all day, every day. So it's really bringing to the surface everything that you've been wanting to for a while. Yeah.
You're in this beautiful place with like-minded people, enjoying yourself, but also their purpose. You're there for you're trying to have some sort of transformational impact on your life during that very.
That's right. Yeah. I think people are getting a little bit sick of sitting by a pool every holiday, scrolling on your phone, and are looking for something a little bit more meaningful. And sometimes that means trekking or going for bushwalks or, visiting these awe-inspiring places. People don't realize the research around awe. And this is why people feel so centered and amazing when they come back from a holiday. They've just had these awe-inspiring experiences. So I think people are looking for a little bit more in their holidays, and retreats are definitely that. They are that little bit more. Yeah.
That's that vacation with intentionality.
Intentionality. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So if you were to kind of think about what the outcome for somebody might be, what can they expect coming out of one of your retreats?
Okay, I like to keep it really simple, Ron. I often say that all I want is a 5-degree shift in perspective. That's it. If participants engage in the process and the friendships are made along the way, then a shift in perspective happens. I don't care how small it is. And if it's 5 degrees, can you imagine what that's going to be like in 10 years' time? Yeah. So the shift slightly, think, oh, yeah, I got that. It's interesting. It's, I'm looking at life a little bit different now. But that means different choices every year, every day, every year. So in 10 years' time, 2 years' time, whatever, life is very different. So I just look for that small shift. That's what I hope people get out of it. And how can you not have small shifts when you're working on self every day, speaking with meaningful people? Some people have epiphanies, but I think that's the rare few. But most people just have that short shift in perspective, which they talk about all the time. And that does lead them to, it's that red, what is it? That red car effect. You buy a red car because you don't think there's lots of red cars, and all of a sudden you see all these red cars on the road. It's not that they weren't there before. You shift that perspective. Yeah. Right.
And then once you see it and you got that perspective, you've got something to work with. It's something that feels really good.
Yes.
And so how do people find out about this amazing retreat? It's coming up in July. I assume you still have a few spots available.
It is. It's coming up very soon. So July 11 to 18, like we said, on the beautiful Greek island of Crete. I've got a website, Self-Discovery Lab, and it lists all my events and retreats. And I say events because I also do events. I do non-residential retreats as well, so workshops around different conditions. So the website is selfdiscoverylab.com.au. I must emphasize the .au because if you do selfdiscoverylab.com, unfortunately it goes to a porn site.
Oh, no.
Now, I've got to laugh. When I first discovered this, I thought, oh, this is not good for business. But you know what? I think it's great for business. I think if people know that selfdiscoverylab.com is a porn site, they'll never forget Self-Discovery Lab.
Well, of course, we're going to have all of your information on viazara.org.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
You know, feature amazing retreat leaders like you, and the soul enriching experiences that you offer. We have it's really amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time.
You're welcome, and thank you for having us on, Ron. I really appreciate it. The more exposure we get out there on retreats, the better.
Yeah, and really what we're trying to do is just help people understand that this is a great alternative to a traditional vacation, something with more intentionality, and to really build in that holistic wellness into it, and just get something more out of it. So
yeah.
So
And thank you for doing that for us. It's we need this kind of platform to expand that perception. Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.